Welcome back. The heartbroken families of the three victims killed by Valdo Calocane in Nottingham have hit out at the police, the Crown Prosecution Service and the mental health system, saying the killer got away with murder and justice was not served. Earlier today, 32-year-old Calocane was sentenced to detention in a high-security hospital after admitting manslaughter by diminished responsibility. The judge said he might never be released.
They were almost home when you attacked them. What followed was truly shocking. You first pulled out a dagger from the bag you were carrying and set about Barnaby in a frenzied and relentless stabbing attack. With astonishing bravery, Grace tried to save him by pushing you away. She sacrificed her life in the attempt, as you then dealt with her in the same brutal fashion.
Speaking outside the court after the sentencing, the mother of 19-year-old Barnaby Webber told Nottinghamshire Police, "You have blood on your hands."
True justice has not been served today. We as a devastated family have been let down by multiple agency failings and ineffectiveness. The CPS did not consult with us, as has been reported. Instead, we have been rushed, hastened and railroaded. We do not dispute that the murderer is mentally unwell and has been for a number of years. However, the premeditated planning, the collection of lethal weapons, hiding in the shadows and the brutality of the attacks are of an individual who knew exactly what he was doing. He knew entirely that it was wrong, but he did it anyway. This has been a trial by doctors. To the Assistant Chief Constable, Rob Griffin, who finally released this information publicly yesterday, I say this: you have blood on your hands. If you had just done your jobs properly, there's a very good chance my beautiful boy would be alive today.
Police have also released chilling footage from the dreadful day in June last year when the attacks took place. They show his victims, friends, Grace O'Malley, Kumar and Barnaby Webber, walking home from a night out moments before Calocane emerged from the shadows. The footage also shows his brutal journey around Nottingham, dressed all in black. As well as killing 3 people, including school caretaker Ian Coates, Calocane also injured 3 others. And this is the dramatic moment he was lasered and arrested by police following the attacks. Joining me now, a criminal barrister, Jeremy Kein KC, and forensic psychiatrist, Dr. Soam Das. Thank you both very much indeed for joining me. Let me talk to Jeremy Kein first of all about this. Jeremy Kein, you know, we've heard the family in the absolute full, brutal onset of the most agonising pain of bereavement and shock and loss. I mean, they're suffering so badly, obviously. But we hear them say, this is not justice. This is not right. This is not appropriate. This man deliberately, brutally set out to murder. He went and bought a knife. He knew what he was doing. He planned it. How can this be the verdict? And how can a hospital stay be the sentence? And I hope that you'll be able to explain what the judge was thinking and how this kind of sentence has come about.
Well, Vanessa, first of all, I want to stress, what a horrific case this was, and nothing I'm about to explain is designed to undermine that. But what we've seen here is the criminal justice process functioning, and on the face of it, I'm afraid to say functioning in a predictable fashion. Firstly, I think the issues have to be separated out. Clearly, the family are deeply unhappy with communications from the CPS. That's a discrete matter, and that's the sort of complaint that is often made by victims. Secondly, the family are bitterly disappointed with the police, and that is a separate matter, and I've no doubt that they have good reason to feel that there were police failings on the basis of what I have read. The principal issue is the sentence. The process with regard to diminished responsibility is a complicated one. A person is deemed guilty of manslaughter rather than murder if their responsibility is substantially impaired by mental illness. The process involves the prosecution and defense instructing psychiatrists who confer as to whether that impairment did in fact exist. Clearly, in this case, there was agreement between prosecution and defense, which enabled the process to reduce liability to manslaughter. And the judge in those circumstances, Vanessa, has no option but to proceed on that basis. And furthermore, when the diagnosis is one of paranoid psychosis, as it was here, and the parties agree that responsibility is for manslaughter rather than murder, then a high security hospital order is in fact the appropriate sentence by law. If I could just say this finally, of course I feel desperately for the family, but if they think that this is an easy option, it's not. This guy will be detained in the harshest of environments for the rest of his life, almost certainly. The only other option would have been life imprisonment. And, you know, if he's transferred to prison at the end of his sentence, if he's transferred to prison at the end of his sentence, so be it. But he's likely to be in the highest possible hospital environment until he dies.